や、わかんねえな、これ、マジで。助けて。冗談。
ずっと手持ちやばい。あ、そこらないね、なんかさ。
めっちゃでも傾けてこう。あ、
そういうこと。ここにジャッジさんが座ってるから、
あ、そうですか。
邪魔だから。
それジャッジさんが邪魔。
ジャッジさんが気になっちゃうかな。
前は。
今配信されてる。配信されてる。
あ、ごめんなさい。
邪魔だよね。
ここ、じゃあ無理ですかね。これ邪魔っすか？
いいんじゃない？めっちゃいい。
で
もだから充電が切れちゃうと思うんだよね。
じゃあもうすぐ。
もうマジじゃないで、これちょっと。
マジあるっすよ。
マジ？
シノが。
じゃあシノちゃんに。これタイプ C いけるよね、多分。
いけますね。
これスマホで見てみよう。
いや、マジで、それ、きつ。絶対火ついてやつ。いや、マジできつい。それ。
おお、ライブできてる。
何これ？
違うアカウントから。
配信してるからやめて。
結構早い。すげえ。
いやいや、俺先生だ。ペン欲しいの。恋をしまして、ペンめちゃみんな成り上がって。
映ってる。すごい。
これ。マジスピーチしてる途中。やばいね。目つぶっちゃう。目つぶって聞いちゃう。だから前に見てるんですね。いや、前に使わなかったらこれでいいの。ダメですか。喋れるよ。喋れないし。これって169年。何キロぐらいまでか。ベストっていうか、まあ、いいからそこまでやってないです。それはその筋トレしてる人の、まず栄養摂取ができないと筋肉つかないんで、バカみたいに計画して太ってからいや、毎日卵を食べましょう。
これもしかしてもう
始まってるよ。
恥ずかしい。
ミュート。 ready?
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Now we'd like to start the opening ceremony of the 74th annual All Japan Inter-Senior High School English Oratorical Contest for the Churchill Trophy. First of all, 12 speakers are ready to enter this hall. Please stand up and welcome them with a loud big applause. The first speaker is Miss Anna Tanaka from Yamada Nishi High School. The second speaker is Miss Karen Takagi from Shinjuku High School for Girls. The third speaker is Mr. Koga Yamada from Toyo Senior High School. The fourth speaker is Miss Mary O'Daniel from Jargon Toyo Senior High School. The fifth speaker is Miss Maria Yoshikawa from Kishingaoka High School for Girls. The sixth speaker is Miss Grace Candle from Kitamoto High School. The seventh speaker is Mr. Sotaro Seo from Sugamo High School. The eighth speaker is Miss Waka Nishio from Kanto International Senior High School. The ninth speaker is Miss Yorin An from Tokyo Korean High School. The 10th speaker is Miss Yuki Ito from Saitama Municipal Urawa High School. The 11th speaker is Miss Yukino Suzuki from Fujingaoka High School for Girls. The 12th speaker is Miss Rika Yano from Shoei Girls Senior. Now the judges will enter this hall. Please welcome them with a big round of applause. Please be seated. Next, I would like to introduce the judges of today's contest.
Dr. Hamilton Armstrong,
Dr. Hamilton Armstrong, a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, in the USA, has taught public speaking and performance at Aoyama University for more than 20 years, but he is absent today due to health conditions. Please value your profile. He was a member of Waseda University ESA and pro-speech instructor. In 2014, he won the first prize at Waseda Trophy, Saikawa Trophy, Momiji Cup, and many others. Also, in 2014, he won the second prize at Ikeda Cup and Hosei University, President's Cup, and won the third prize at Oki Cup, Amano Trophy, Potato Cup, and the President's Cup of the University of the Sacred Heart. Six-time finalist of Todai Trophy, and won the third prize in 2016, 2017, and 2020. The second prize and the audience prize in 2019.
Miss Yuki. Sorry. Miss Yuki Kawayoshi. She is a translator, watercolor illustrator, and a certified self-defense team facilitator. She has also been teaching English at several different colleges.
Her main translation work includes The Beauty of Love, the guided audio thriller, and Tono Monogatari series.
She is a member of the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor and the Well-Being Design Lab, both of which focus on promoting happiness and well-being. She believes in the power of laughter, and her values are love, joy, and laughter. She has been honored to serve as a judge in many intercollegiate speech contests for over 20 years and enjoys listening to what young people have to say. First of all, Kyoka Mori, the chief of Aoyama Gakuin ESS speech section, will deliver their opening address. Miss Mori, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining the 74th Churchill Trophy. It's truly wonderful to see so many passionate speakers graceful here today. This year's theme, Challenge Your Limits, encourages you to not compare yourself with others, but to go beyond who you were yesterday. Every time you speak on this stage, you're already providing your encouragement and growth. I hope today will be a chance for all of you to discover new possibilities within yourselves and to enjoy every single moment of it. Let's make this a day full of inspiration and confidence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mori. Now, I'd like to explain the rules of today's contest. For participants, when I call your name, please come up to the stage and start your speech. Each of you has 5 minutes to deliver your speech. The timekeeper will show the remaining time in the following way. The speech will be 5 minutes long. If you go over 5 minutes, you will be deducted 1 position. When 5 minutes have passed, the timekeeper will ring the bell once like this. When 5 minutes and a half have passed, the timekeeper will ring the bell twice like this. After 6 minutes have passed, I will interrupt you and will require you to close your speech. After each speech, we will have a question and answer period for 3 minutes. Mr. Kubota will be today's questioner. For the audience during the presentation, please do not open the door. Today's timekeeper is Teshin Koyama and Yuya Uchida. And Yuri Nishizawa and I, Yoshimasa Chihara, will take the chairmanship. This contest is supported by them. This will conclude the opening ceremony. Thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome the first speaker of today's contest. The first speaker is Miss Anna Tanaka from Yamagata Nishi High School. She will deliver her speech under the title of Graduate Mixed Spirit. Graduate Mixed Spirit. Miss Tanaka, would you come up to the stage?
Some students can spend thousands of yen on mechanical pencils. Others can't. Some can go to cram schools. Others can't. Some can travel abroad. Others can't. Why does this gap exist? And how does it affect our futures? When I was a junior high school student, I was lucky enough to compete in an English speech competition that opened my eyes to new things. It was a wonderful experience, advancing from my small city, Yamagata, to the national competition in Tokyo. Listening to everyone's conversations in English and to their speeches gave me a new point of view on social issues. However, somewhere in my heart, I felt something wrong. Jealousy. I envied my competitors. While all of them were truly remarkable and are people that I deeply admire, many had traveled abroad or had parents with jobs in foreign countries, giving them advantages others did not have. Aren't they privileged? This was the first time I truly thought about privilege. Some think privilege means being better than others, but actually, it's about having advantages and opportunities that come easily without having to struggle for them. For most, it's something they're born with. Then I turned the question to myself. Though I have never been abroad, my parents lived abroad for a while and made many friends there. Because of this, I grew up surrounded by friends from different countries. I grew up listening to conversations from everything to politics to everyday life. Back then, I didn't see it as anything special. However, through these interactions, I was exposed to a variety of perspectives. This showed me how learning English can change our lives in unimaginable ways. It helped me express my ideas and understand others' opinions. But then, it hit me. I am privileged too. In fact, most of us are privileged in some way. Privilege doesn't always look like wealth or luxury. Sometimes it's just as simple as having time to think, a quiet place to study, or parents who encourage us to follow our dreams. I believe in a world where everyone is treated fairly and given equal opportunities. Yet the reality is often different. Some students struggle because of financial problems, home environment, and where they live. I want to change this society. I dream of a future where all students are given the opportunity to succeed, regardless of their situation. However, I don't think these inequalities and privileges in our society are random. They come from a lack of consideration for others, prejudice, and ignorance. It's in high places. This realization made me feel a strong sense of guilt because these situations are often beyond our control. So we ignore it. The feelings of discomfort and injustice make us avoid confronting these issues. But I know now that to solve these issues, we must discuss them, no matter how uncomfortable they may be. We must always remember, we are not powerless. We have the keys to make a change. We don't have to start big. We can start by listening to unheard voices, sharing our knowledge, time, and words, and studying to help those in need. But one of the most important things is to be aware of our privilege. We need to understand how it shapes our thoughts and our lives. This means not giving up, even if your actions seem small. By using our privilege for the greater good, we can shape a brighter future together. So let's be aware of our privilege, recognize it, question it, and use it to build a more equal world for all. Thank you.
Now we have a 3-minute question and answer period. Ms. Takamura, please.
Hold on. You're prepared to
Okay, thank you very much, Anna-san. So you came all the way from Yamagata today, right?
Yes.
You came to Tokyo yesterday or today?
I arrived here today.
Cool. So you woke very early today, I assume. So my first question is, do you want to keep on living in Yamagata or to move to Tokyo or Osaka or maybe somewhere, especially the city area?
I think the first step to eliminating privilege is to start by helping those in the countryside. There is so much to do in the city, and there's much more help given there. But I want to provide help for those in the countryside as well. So I would like to stay in Yamagata.
Okay, so even though there'll be more jobs and more like cultural capitals like museums and more stores and like you can go to the concerts easily, right? But even though you want to live in Yamagata.
That is an intriguing argument, but I know in my heart that even though if I go to the city, I will come back to Yamagata because I love it so much and I want to help the people there.
Okay, very good. My next question. So in your suggestion, you said that we need to be aware of our privilege, our own privilege.
Yes.
So what comes next? What comes next as an action in concrete?
Being aware is the first step, of course. But after being aware, we should use it in better ways. I think we acknowledge that we have privilege and we stop there. We should start by learning from those with less privilege. We should learn about their stories and think about what we need to do to help them, like charities. I think that's the main thing we should do.
Okay, my next question is that in your speech, you compare yourself with like the returnees, right? Those who have experience of living abroad, those who have more opportunity to interact with different cultures,
Yes.
but you realize yourself that you also have in a different way, and you are privileged in that
Yes.
way. But I think that you're kind of like comparing yourself with kind of like people, at least like the same Japanese or the same like the same level of people. But what if you think about like those who living in developing countries? Think about the girls who can never go to school. They have to work, right? They're forced to marry a man. They didn't even know, right? What kind of privilege can we find in that girl living in developing countries?
You're asking me about the girls living in developing
Yes.
countries?
But following your message, maybe we could find some kind of privilege, something unique in her, right? You can just keep on going.
So you're asking me to find privilege in those young girls who get married off?
Yeah.
It's hard to think of privilege in that way. Maybe they'll have a stable life, but I don't think that is really a part or like a form of privilege that anybody would really want to have. But finding privilege in that, maybe having a home to stay in would be a brighter way to look at things in your life.
Okay, yeah, I was just considering about the target of your speech, so that's why I asked this question.
Mhm.
Okay, so time's come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There is a judging time.
The second speaker is Miss Karin Takagi from Fujimigaoka High School for Girls. She will deliver her speech under the title of Not Lazy, Just Strategically Doing. Miss Takagi, will you come up to the stage?
Sure.
Karin Takagi, do your homework. Mom, I was just going to do it. Okay, let me confess something before I start my speech. I totally procrastinated writing this speech. I sat down at my desk, opened my laptop. I was like, okay, let's do this. Then I looked around and went, maybe I should clean my room first, to focus better. 3 hours later, my room was sparkling clean, but my speech, well, still a blank page. Sound familiar? We've all been told that procrastination is a bad habit by parents, teachers, basically every adult ever. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. Is procrastination really always a bad thing? Is it really because of our laziness? Because maybe, just maybe, it's not the enemy we think it is. Psychologist says there's actually 2 types of procrastination. First is the classic one, passive procrastination, where we avoid work and waste time. Is this okay? Well, definitely not good. But then there's another thing called active procrastination, where we delay tasks but still get it done under pressure, often with better results. Think about it. How many times have you had your best idea at the last minute? This is because deadlines create urgency, and urgency forces focus. Just like me here, procrastinating writing my speech, but bam! Got the idea to justify. To give an excuse for a bad habit. Some of the most creative people in history, like Leonardo da Vinci or Victor Hugo, were also famous procrastinators. Yet, their work changed the world. Did you know that according to Goal Sculling, the average person spends 218 minutes a day procrastinating? This is about 3.5 hours. When we procrastinate, it doesn't always mean we're doing nothing. Sometimes our brain is quietly thinking in the background. There's actually a name for this: incubation. It means your mind is working on the problem even when you're not. Sometimes the bad thought hit you, you're not trying so hard. Of course, I'm not saying that it's okay to miss deadlines. Procrastinating too much can definitely get you in trouble. But here's the thing, starting early doesn't always mean you do better. What really matters is how you work once you actually get going. For me, giving myself some space helps sometimes. When the deadline gets closer, I'll be like, oh my goodness, I haven't done this. Then I focus. And somehow, it all comes together. We all have different ways of working. The key is to understand what works for you. So, here's what I want to leave you with. Procrastination isn't always laziness. Sometimes it can be a signal. It might mean you're nervous. It might mean you're just waiting for the right spark. Or maybe your brain just needs a bit more time to warm up. So, next time, if you catch yourself cleaning your desk instead of writing that essay, ask yourself, am I avoiding this or am I just getting ready? Because maybe, just maybe, procrastination isn't your problem. Maybe it's part of your process. Thank you.
Now we have a 3-minute question and answer period. Mr. Kabota, please.
Okay, thank you, Tanita. Thank you so much for speech. My first question, so you talked about procrastination. Yeah. Okay, my first question is, what is the difference between the good procrastination and a bad procrastination? Where do you find the borderline?
Thank you for asking the question. So, the passive procrastination, the negative procrastination is you stop doing anything. You stop thinking. You stop collecting your ideas. But the active procrastination, the positive one, you might get to do something. You might think about it. You might have some more inspiration around somewhere. It's like you are progressing little by little. You might not notice it, but you are progressing. That's the difference between the negative one and the positive one.
Okay, very good. Totally understood. Well, in your speech at the beginning, you said like, do your homework. Mom, I was just about to do it.
Yes.
Like that. And also you shared us that you're having procrastination for writing this speech, right?
Yes.
But I think these could be quite different because the speech is going to be idea-based. If you don't hit up on good idea, you can't write a good speech, right?
Yes.
But as for homework, it's not something idea-based, right?
Sometimes,
Right? You
yes.
need to just keep on doing that. It's a pile of making that, right? So aren't you like mixing up these situations?
Well, the conversation between do your homework and Mom, I was going to do it. So this speech, it was given to us as a homework, as a summer homework by our school. And I was thinking about what should I write? And my mom was there scolding me. Why aren't you doing your homework yet? It's already the deadlines. The deadline's tomorrow. And well, that was my procrastination. I understand there's some homeworks that you don't need to think, like practicing kanji. Well, you probably shouldn't do procrastination. You probably do it at first. But to those homework that you need to think, well, especially in my school, we have a lot of presentation and those things. Well, I think you might need some procrastination so you get idea.
Okay, yeah, so you now mentioned about your mom. And so let's think about like from your mom's viewpoint.
Yes.
So now, like suppose I come to like your mother's and see you doing nothing at all, just
Yes.
like playing game or like watching the TV drama, something like that. But maybe you're like in the midst of a good, positive procrastination. But how can I, as your mom, judge that?
Well, my mom definitely can.
Yeah.
She can't judge me, but I can know that I am doing something. I am not lazy. I'm just doing something, so I don't blame myself. I'm just thinking. So I don't think my mom will understand it, or she might get scold me when after I get home and I don't do anything of my homework. Well, at least I can know it, and I can stop blaming myself.
Okay, so even if your mother scolds you, it's none of your business because
Yes.
you are doing the good thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Takata. Thank you, Mr. Takata. There is a judging time. The first speaker is Mr. Koda Yamamoto from Togo Senior High School. He will deliver his speech under the title of The Meaning of Life Lies in Life Itself. The meaning of life lies in life itself. Mr. Yamada, would you come up to the stage?
Sure. When I was playing badminton, I had a difficult time because I couldn't make much progress. At that time, I practiced hard to improve my skills and continue to train on my own. However, I couldn't beat my friends who were better than me, so I worried a lot. To make matters worse, I was busy with my schoolwork. I had many difficult problems to think about. Suddenly, I wondered why I was now working this hard. What's the point of doing my best? More precisely, why in the world am I living here like this? The more I thought about it, the more deeply I got stuck. Since I was in such a difficult situation, I decided to talk with my mother, who has more experiences than me. What is the meaning of life? I asked her. She said, It is no use thinking so long ahead. You have to just try hard now and do your best. I thought that she might be right, but I was still wondering about the meaning of life. After that, I saw a movie based on the Yamayurien incident. As you may know, 19 people were killed in 2016 in Tsukui, Yamayurien, a facility for mentally disabled people in Kanagawa Prefecture. The murderer who caused this incident thought that mentally disabled people cannot recognize themselves, and they cause a lot of trouble for people around them. So he thought she should kill them. When I heard his reasoning for what he had done, although I felt it shouldn't be accepted, I found myself somewhat understanding why he had thought that way, and I was even almost convinced. So I decided to consider how I could convince him not to commit this crime if I had met him before the incident. I first thought about the criteria we use when we evaluate people, such as social roles and productivity. These are improper because all creatures definitely die and we all end up in the same place, no matter how much we have achieved. Therefore, I would tell him, it is difficult to judge the value of people by such criteria because they vary depending on each person. Our productivity and social roles are only created for the first time by living. So, just living itself has a meaning even if that person is mentally disabled. In other words, the meaning of life lies in life itself. Purpose, productivity, or social roles are just byproducts which are born out of living. The meaning of life is created by living earnestly. It isn't determined beforehand. I was able to realize this. Then I felt that I truly understood my mother's words, which are, it is needless to think about the meaning of life, so try your best to do what you can right now. After much consideration, I felt that the Yamayurien incident is also related to the meaning of life. Looking back in the past, don't have regret is my motto. Having this chance to think about the meaning of life, I came to realize that this insight ultimately aligns with my motto. Now I believe that anything we do is meaningful. I even feel that the hardships I'm facing now also have a truly important meaning. Thank you.
Now we have the question and answer period. Mr. Kubota, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Kodai-san. And so you saw the movie of the Yamagi and thinking about that murderer, he is now already sentenced, a death penalty, right? So if you have an opportunity to see him at the prison,
Yes.
what would you say to him? You said in your speech, you mentioned that if you were able to like go back to the past, like using the time machine, then you would talk about something. What if you see him right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
What I say to
Yes.
him? As I told, I will tell him it is difficult to judge the value of people by this criteria. Like I write down it. So yes.
Okay. My next question. So not only about this mentally disabled people, like as mentioned in Yamagi, there will be like think about the case of elderly people, like for 90 or nearly 100 years old, lying in bed with so many tubes inside and out of them, like spaghetti, right? So this is what is actually carried out in the hospital, the life extension. But looking at those elderly people, they can never talk. They can't even wake up and walk. They are just living. They are just alive. And but at the same time, so many money, so many costs are paid to make them alive. So it means that maybe we could say that the cost is much larger than the value for them to being alive. What do you think about in this kind of case?
Yes. Actually, my grandfather died in the summer, and he was like that condition. But I don't think about he doesn't have the meaning because I I I was really happy to see him, and yes, he cannot talk to me, but I felt he heard my feeling, so I think it has a meaning. He lives in the condition like the tubes, like that. Yes.
Okay. Maybe going with my last question. So the Yamayuya incident, the crime, maybe happened because there are disabled people exist in the society, and Uematsu didn't like that, so maybe he actually committed murder, right? So what if, like, think about, do you know the concept of the designer baby? Like, before having birth, a baby, you could kind of like design what kind of human beings would he or she would the baby would be like. So maybe we will be able to maybe that we cannot the mother or father would choose not to have a disabled baby before giving a birth. So do you agree with this kind of designer baby concept?
I think it is like because if people know that the baby is disabled, but it is not certain. So I think it is needless to like disappointed like that. Yeah.
Okay, so time's gone. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
The first speaker is Miss Mary O'Daniel from Dalton, Tokyo Senior High School. She will deliver her speech under the title of Law Fiction, Embracing the Value of Imperfection. Law Fiction, Embracing the Value of Imperfection. Miss O'Daniel, would you come onto the stage? Sure.
How many of you have tried to look perfect on Instagram? After taking many pictures from different angles and lighting,
we sometimes manage to post the perfect snap. Hashtag, I'm the cool kid. One Saturday, as I was scrolling through my Instagram feed, I saw a picture of my friend on a beautiful beach. She was smiling, holding a colorful frozen drink with a cherry on top. It looked like my friend was having the perfect weekend. Instantly, I was jealous. Let's pause and think. How often do we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others' seemingly perfect lives? What does perfection mean to us? Is it about having a weekend on a beautiful beach, a slender body, remarkable talents in sports, straight A's, or lots of money? Who defines these standards of perfection? In the Cambridge Dictionary, the word perfection is the state of being complete and correct in every way. Wow, correct in every way? As a teenager, I believed seeking perfection was the right thing to do. I tried to be perfect, measuring everything: grades, friendships, and even how I looked on social media. But the more I chased it, the more I saw my flaws. Life shrank to black or white, good or bad, success or failure, with no space in between. I kept reaching for an invisible bar and judged myself before anyone else. My self-esteem shattered. And in this, I was not alone. In Japan, many young people grow up feeling they must be perfect. Studies have shown that this constant pressure is linked to depression, isolation, and sometimes even worse. But how are these standards of perfection established in us? Are they shaped by societal expectations? Or are they self-imposed, influenced by what we see and hear? This led me to question, am I measuring my worth standards set by things that don't truly understand or know me? Recently, my mom made a new hobby. It is to take pictures of the bento she makes for me every morning. She often complains that there's nothing in the fridge, but still manages to make something. When she finishes making my bento, she takes a picture of it and says, "It's not perfect, but good enough," and posts it on her Instagram page. Hashtag, bento with leftovers, smiley emoji. If you find her bento on her Instagram page, it may not look perfect. She does not put octopus-shaped sausages or heart-shaped sweet eggs in my bento. But did it make her happy? Yes. Did it make me happy? Absolutely. The bento was imperfectly perfect. This experience taught me that perfection isn't the same for everyone. It's something personal. It's a picture we create in our minds, influenced by what we see around us and how we feel inside. If we don't match that picture, it doesn't mean we've failed. Today, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. This is a quote from one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books. It reminds me that being perfect should not be anyone's goal. The goal is to be myself. So, as I stand here today, I want to leave you with this thought. Even if we aren't perfect, our flaws make us unique, real, and human. The definition of perfection isn't set by others. It comes from within us. This simple truth is who you are. I'm proud to find myself imperfectly perfect, just like my mom's bento on her Instagram. Let's celebrate our perfectly imperfect selves. Hashtag, thank you very much.
Now we have a 30-minute question and answer period. Mr. Kubota, please.
Okay, Marisa, thank you very much. What did you have for lunch today?
Today I had a salad with sweet potatoes in it.
Not your mother's bento?
No, I woke up late tonight, so she couldn't make my bento.
Okay, well, So my next question. So in the very first part of your speech, you mentioned about the Instagram, like the stories with our friends, the perfect weekends. But why do we care so much about the SNS? Why do we care? Because like people post only the very good part of their life, like right? But it means that they hide the dirty things and at least something not beautiful. So why do we just care about the SNS, just showing only the beautiful part of people?
Thank you for your question. First of all, I think that nowadays social media like Instagram or TikTok are a big part of our life, especially for me, someone like me at a young age. And I think, as you mentioned, we don't see the dirty side or the bad sides of those perfect lives. But I think that is the main reason why we try to match that perfection. Because we don't see the bad side of it, we don't realize when we're looking at that picture, this is not real. This is not everything about this person. We don't see that. And I think that is the main reason why we only focus on those perfect sides.
Yeah, very clear and good answer. My next question. So maybe you are not, maybe not, maybe not. I'm quite sure that you are not perfect, right?
Mhm.
So what is your flaw and how do you accept your shortcomings?
I think I have many flaws and I make many mistakes. I think many people also have flaws and mistakes, but I think I realize I'm half American and I'm half Japanese. And when I'm at school, everybody accept thinks that I am very fluent in English. But the truth is, I am not fluent in English. I've been living here in Japan since I was born, and the skills that people who live abroad or who been in the tutor for their whole life is they have better skills in speaking English. And that thing when I in my school, that is my biggest flaw, and I feel like I have to match their standards of perfection, match their standards of how much English I speak. But I try to remember that their standards are their standards. I have my standards of perfection, and but the perfection I think is that it's not about being flawless. It's about accepting that flaws is a part of who I am today, and that is how I think I keep up with my self-confidence and self-esteem.
Okay, so time's up. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
There is a judging time. The fifth speaker is Miss Maria Ishikawa from Fujimigaoka High School for Girls. She will deliver her speech under the title of A Small Act, A Bridge to Tomorrow. A Small Act, A Bridge to Tomorrow. Miss Ishikawa, would you come up to the stage?
You might die tomorrow. This phrase changed my life. It opened my eyes to something I had been missing. Isolation hurts, connection heals. After moving from Singapore to Japan, I struggled with cultural differences and felt disconnected. I developed a serious mental health condition affecting both my body and mind, one carrying the risk of death. I was hospitalized for 6 months, all alone during COVID-19. Each day felt colder than the last. It wasn't just a battle with my body. It was a profound internal struggle. What I felt wasn't just loneliness. It was deep vulnerability. Studies show social isolation increases the risk of depression, anxiety, and suicide. I was in real danger. But one small act changed everything. Every morning, nurses greeted me gently and listened. Encouraged by their kindness, I began to reach out and make new friends. The hospital, once cold and sterile, became warmer and more vibrant. Connection didn't just brighten the room, it brought life back into me. When discharged, my friends welcomed me with kindness. They reminded me that I was never truly alone, and that seeking support is not a weakness, but the first step toward healing. As the author and podcaster, Brené Brown reminds us, connection is why we're here. It is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Having overcome adversity, I now see my childhood dream of becoming an English teacher in a new light. In the digital world, making real connection is harder than ever, especially for students who fear judgment or rejection. Many feel safer staying silent than reaching out. I understand that feeling. That is why my goal is to create a classroom where students feel safe, understood, and connected. A place where no one has to suffer in silence. I want to nurture not only academic skills, but also emotional confidence, social courage, and belonging. As Mother Teresa once said, if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. Through connection and respect for diverse backgrounds, we grow stronger together. As I stand here, I want to emphasize that connection matters. One small thoughtful action can make a big difference. Sit next to someone who's alone at lunch. Say, good morning, to a classmate you don't talk to. Compliment someone on a presentation. Ask, are you okay? And truly listen. In classrooms and friendships, one small act builds a bridge to tomorrow. If you only remember one thing from today, let it be this. Openness fosters belonging, and belonging has the power to save a life. Let's build a world where no child feels invisible, where classrooms and communities are filled with care and connection, where we don't just learn together, but grow stronger together. The words "you might die tomorrow" once filled me with fear. Now, they remind me to live with purpose. Let's embrace the wisdom that each day is a gift. The choices we make today, how we connect, how we care, shape our future. When we reach out today, we give tomorrow meaning. Thank you.
Now, we will have answer minute, question and answer period. Mr. Kabutan, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Maria-san. So you moved from Singapore to Japan. So when was that?
So from Japan, I moved from Japan to Singapore. I think I was in elementary 1, and I came back to Japan during the middle of secondary 1.
I also lived in Singapore when I was childhood. Yeah. Maybe we could talk about later on. So, so after you came back to Japan, maybe you kind of like faced a cultural gap between your classmates, so that made you hospitalized, right? So it was very good to hear that you found a nurse who would accept you and become your new friend. I want to know the detail about how that nurse treated you, and also what kind of things did you talk with, what kind of conversation did you make with that nurse? And my second question is, so not only that nurse, so many people around you, right?
Yes.
Classmates, your families, or maybe doctors, or maybe other nurses. What was so special about that nurse?
Thank you for your question. So to first answer to your first question, so we have each people in the hospital. We have like a specific nurse that will come to the hospital every day, and we would always have like an hour talk to each other. And at first, I was really shy and I couldn't really open up. So the nurse kind of always gave me like a question and I could answer, and she would try to brighten the mood. But as time passed, I was also able to open up to her because I felt more comfortable and I was more happy to be with her. And I think the conversations were, sometimes it was about my illness, but sometimes it was just about just like a normal conversation, like, oh, what did you eat today? Like, what are you gonna do today? Like those kind of general questions we also talked about it during our conversation that we had. And to answer to your second question, I think in the beginning, I was really shy and I couldn't open up to people, which is why it made me want to isolate from others. But with that specific nurse, she made me realize how it's important and how it's amazing to talk with other people. And after getting discharged, I was able to make even more friends. And the friends I had before also helped me make more friends now. And I'm really glad that I was able to meet all those people.
Okay, very good to hear that. My last question. So you're very lucky to be to see a nurse, and so someone you could really understand, right? But what about people who have no families, like no monies, and no connection, and so with the social, with the society? What kind of action or what kind of support could we give to those people? Those really isolated people.
Thank you for your question. So I think what we could do for them is to actually go, maybe there are places like that where people are isolated. Maybe there are lots of groups somewhere around the world. And I think that we can make a group volunteer, and we could go to those places and make a big action. And first, it could be just like what I have experienced, like a small talk with those people, and maybe try to brighten their mood. And maybe they could also, when they are more comfortable, I hope that they can also be more open to us. And I hope that they could also, when they know the importance, they could also help spread it to other people as well.
Hey, very clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The sixth speaker is Ms. Suriski Kando from Kitamoto High School. She will deliver her speech under the title of Voice is More Than Language, Voice is More Than Language. Ms. Kando, would you come up to the stage?
Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to share something personal. Have you ever had something you desperately wanted to say, but no words to say it in? That's how I felt for a long time. They say communication is a bridge between souls, but growing up, even though I often spoke, I rarely felt heard. My story begins with a quiet goodbye, as I was just a child when my parents moved to Japan to build a better life. I stayed behind in Nepal, raised by my grandparents. At an age when most kids can't imagine a day without their parents, I spent years without mine. They said it was for my education, for my future, but no one asked what my heart needed. I shifted from school to school, house to house, losing friends as fast as I met them. I learned how to be quiet, how to be strong, and how to hide that deep feeling of being disconnected, even in a room full of people. 2 years ago, I moved to Japan and reunited with my family. I thought things so funny would feel whole again. I imagined sitting around the dinner table, laughing together, catching up on all the lost time. But the reality was different. I found myself in a new country, surrounded by people speaking a language I couldn't fully understand. Not just the words, but the feelings behind them. The way people joked, expressed politeness, or even stayed silent. It was all unfamiliar to me. I joined junior high school halfway through the year. Everyone had already made their circles, and I couldn't even introduce myself properly. People were kind, but I couldn't express who I really was. I smiled a lot, nodded often, pretended I was okay, but deep inside, I missed the ease of expressing myself or feeling known. Some nights I cried without really knowing why. It wasn't just about not knowing Japanese. It was about losing connection. I didn't just wanted to translate words, I wanted to be seen, to be understood, and to feel like I belonged. But slowly, things began to shift. I started learning more Japanese, not just the vocabulary, but how to feel and express myself in the language. My friends helped me, even when I struggled. My teachers encouraged me, even when my grammar wasn't perfect. Every new phrase I learned gave me a tiny piece of confidence. What I realized along the way is that connection isn't just about flawless language. It's about trying, even when you feel embarrassed. It's about someone waiting for you to finish your sentence with passion and you choosing to speak, even when your voice trembles. Now, I can talk with friends, laugh with them, and even ask questions in class and help others who are having a hard time. But the most important thing I realized is that language isn't just for talking. It's for you to share your feelings, connect with others, and understand their hurts. I still get nervous. I still make mistakes, but I no longer feel voiceless. I have something to say and now I know how to say it. So, if you have ever felt left out or misunderstood because of language, I want you to remember your voice is important. Even if you're still learning, even if you're a little shy. Because in the end, it's not about language, it's about connection. Thank you.
Now we will have a 3-minute question and answer period. Mr. Kubota, please.
Okay, Shishi-san, thank you so much for your speech. My first question, it was very surprising for me to hear about that you lived apart from your parents, right, for 2 years in Nepal while your parents were in Japan, right?
No, it's not just 2 years.
Not
Like,
more.
I was born and raised in Nepal.
Mhm.
I came to Japan 2 years ago.
Oh, I see. I see, I got it. So, so what do you think, like, what if your parents decided to take you to Japan together with those family, your parents, do you think there been some kind of difference in what you've experienced so far?
I think there will be a many difference. As I came to Japan 2 years ago, but still I don't feel that connection with my parents. I don't feel we are really connected that much. So I feel like if they had taken me with themselves when they moved to Japan, I feel like I will tell them everything, every secret that I keep them from now. I don't share everything with them. My mom's come to me and said, I'm like your best friend, share with me everything. But that's not how I feel because I was separated from them. So I feel like if they took with me and moved with Japan, I'll be able to tell them everything, like whatever happened in my life, and be more connect with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did you actually tell what do you think, what are your feelings to your parents?
No, I don't tell them.
Really? So your parents aren't here today?
My grandpa is here.
I see. Okay. Yeah. As slightly mentioned at the talking with the previous speaker, I also live in Singapore when I was a child. And when I was a kindy, I moved to Singapore, and the 5th grade of elementary school, I came back to Japan. And when I was just a kindy, it reminded me of the what I felt. There were so many struggles, right? Because
Yes.
I was forced to come into very new culture, different people, yeah, of course, different countries, right? But as time passed, I get used to some kind of like new people, the new culture. So isn't this kind of like a struggle or challenge a temporary thing?
It may be a temporary thing, but for some people, it might also be permanent thing, I guess. I know if after I came to Japan, I still struggle with my Japanese. I couldn't really connect with my friends as soon as I came here. They were all kind to me, but I couldn't really express my own feelings like I did when I was in Nepal with my friends. They understood me because I spoke in my own language. And this is not my own language, so it's very hard for me. It might not be hard for other people, but I guess it depends on the people. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Here is Zaza. The first half of today's contest is over. Now we will have an intermission. The latter half will start at 2:50, so please be seated by 2:35, 2:45. Now the judges will read this whole. Please stand up and give them all applause. Please be seated. 日本語で失礼いたします。 後半は2時50分より始まります。5分前の2時45分にお立ちください。ありがとうございました。
Oh my god, girl, you ate it.
Thanks, you ate too.
Thank you. Oh my god, なんかみんな好き上手。
カレンさんにとりあえず助けてほしい。